Alrighty guys, it's time for this week's budget review. For those of you who are new, I did pick the Hemlock and Oak 2024 Daily Planner. This planner is absolutely gorgeous and I highly recommend checking them out. I have a link down in the description if you want to learn more about this planner and its brand. But other than that, we're going to get right into this week's budget review. So last week wasn't really the best. Fell into some old habits, came across some things, and we're just gonna see how I started pulling myself out of that. So, for the first page, the first layout that they give you, it's a 1 year's at a glance. I use it as my financial dashboard, and simply put, it just gives me a space in the planner that I can visually see what's happening in my budget for the entire year. You can see like where the holidays and birthdays, those are in purple. Paydays are in green. Vehicle expenses, so that would be the registration of plates, car inspections. I had the driver's license renewal last year. Large amounts of money in would be the insurance funds. Large amounts of money out would be the taxes. And it's just a nice way of visually seeing everything all at once. And then that way you can kind of see like what's your busy months and what your not so busy months. It doesn't look like a lot now, but again, like once things start filling in and the year progresses, we'll start to see how important this page is. So the other thing that I added a bunch of little leaflets to this year's planner. One thing I do want to, get more in tune with is how much I actually spend for the holidays or celebrations. So we could see that we've already made it through Ray's birthday and Easter. I was really surprised to see that I spent less for Easter than Ray's birthday. So again, that's just something I'm going to be a little bit more aware of for next year. I do have Bill's birthday coming up, and for the most part, I pretty much have all of that stuff covered. It's literally sitting in a bag behind me. I just have to find the receipts and actually see like what I actually spent on it, but I really don't have to worry about buying any of it because it's already there. Okay, so the next thing would be the 2 years at a glance. In last year's planner, they had this. This is a layout that I never would have thought that like I would have been excited to see. But like I said, the planner is so well built, I didn't want to waste any of the pages. So last year I realized that I could take my information from stebit.com or the debt payoff planner. Again, I have all of these linked in the description down below. But what this does is it gives you a projected payoff date for each of the accounts, and I just put all of those under the months that they're projected to be paid off as long as I stick to the plan. And then I take a highlighter and I highlight each week that I pay towards each account. So it lets you see like if you are on track and if you are ahead, like how many weeks are you ahead. So like we can see the Quicksilver account, it wasn't supposed to be paid off until the end of March. I was able to get it paid midway through February. We're working on Chase right now, and we can see that, we're still trucking along with it. It is taking a little bit longer than the Quicksilver, but again, it is double the size of the Quicksilver. I am using the snowball method, so as we progress through each account, it is going to take a little bit longer for each of these accounts to be paid. But they are showing me some really nice things with this PayPal account down here, because it's only 2 months after Chase is paid, so I'm kind of curious to see how that happens. But from what I know is as long as you stick with what they have projected, the accounts will get paid off. So that kind of makes me happy. It's like I'm getting one for each quarter, so We will see. And I mean, I'm kind of hoping to get this one paid off in December too. That would be really nice. So that would just leave the big 3 right there. So let's see here. Another thing that I added was needs versus wants page. This seemed to be my biggest issue for last year. Is like, I understand the concept of some things are vital, that you need them, and then other things are just wants, but you kind of convince yourself that you need them. The Vita Authority and Deactivated You is health related. It does make me the best me. Health complications do occur if I do not have those, so to me those are needs. They may not be needs to somebody else, but for me, they are necessities. Okay, so the hair and brows tanning, to me, that's more cosmetic. That's, like, do I feel better when I do that? Yes, but, I'm gonna be able to still move my body, go to work, you know, all those other things, if I don't. So those are the 2 right now that seem to be the biggest ones for me, because I'm trying to train myself. Like, you don't actually need that, you just like it, you want it. So that's where I got the little Pigos page. And again, guys, I apologize. I don't know why my voice always strains when I do these videos. I can do a plan with me, no problem at all. And I feel like it's the anxiousness of the budgeting that just really catches my breath. But if you notice any of these little cute coloring pages that I got here, these are made by Heidi Nash. You can find these on Debt Free Charts. I absolutely love them, and they are a fun addition to any budget planner. This is the car loan here. Yeah, we're making progress on this. It is taking way longer than what it should, but it's because of how many accounts I've been paying off over the last couple of years, which actually now I'm curious. I gotta drag out last year's and see how many I did get paid off last year. So I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I paid off 6 accounts last year, totaling $10,000. So, yeah. We got a lot of accounts, guys. Okay, there's a lot. This is future dreaming. I thought it was cute, but you know, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen because, like I said, I got 6 accounts paid off last year, shooting for 6 again this year, so they are going down. The trick is to, you know, not repeat. Don't do it again. So again, see, this is the original Detris. And this is what we were working with last year. And another thing I would like to note is that, see, I did pay $10,000. And the thing that was most surprising to me, when I was totaling everything up for this year, is I was like, okay, so I started, we're just going to say 21, okay? So 21,000 minus 10,000, that should have given me 11,000. And the most shocking thing to me, which, I mean, I know that they all have high interest, but this clearly shows you how interest can accumulate and take over the bills, because I still have a total of 17. So I accumulated like $5,000 worth of interest, okay? Like, it almost feels like it's impossible, but that's why you just have to keep chipping and chipping and chipping and chipping. So, I started with this mess last year, and this is what I'm left with. So it looks bad, but I've seen worse. And the year before last year was worse than last year. So I just got to take it one account at a time. So if you're in a similar situation like me, it feels like it takes forever, but you just have to keep prodding at it. It's, yeah. Sometimes it gets you. I always try to just think of how bad it used to be, and then this doesn't really look like much. So, as you saw, like we had Tetris from last year. I did round 2 Tetris for this year. And the only thing that I switched up this year is I started coloring in the blocks midway through the month. So each week that I come on here and do a review, I quickly total up what I've paid on the account so far for the month, and I color in the blocks. It's a little bit more motivating to me because towards the end of the month I could be like, ooh, you only need to put like $20 more on the account and you could buy another block. In my mind, I feel like I'm buying game pieces. I'm not. I'm paying off my debts, but buying a game piece is a little bit more fun than paying down the debts. So if being able to color in a block on Tetris makes me pay more towards my debts, I'm all for it. So that's where we are with this. So we're getting very close. We're getting closer to level 1. Again, I apologize, guys. I don't know why it gets so scratchy when I do these. The one thing I would like to note is I've noticed the amount that I've been able to pay per month has steadily decreased. I'm not liking that. I want to get back up to where I was back in January. So, I'm gonna try to figure out if that's even possible for this month here. Whew. Okay, so I'm gonna take a quick break. I'm gonna get a glass of water, and then we're gonna get into the monthly and daily layouts. Alrighty, guys, we're back. I got a sip of water. Again, I apologize for all of that. I don't know why my voice does that when I do these. Again, it has to be anxiety. It has to be. I can't think of any other reason why I could go from speaking normally to sounding like an 80-year-old smoker. So, if you've seen any of my other Playing With Me guys, I don't sound like that. It's only when I do these. So, let's get back into this budget review here. So, this is the monthly layout. Made sure that I was pressing record there. Sometimes I don't, and I really don't want to go through all of this. If it's not, yes, double check. Okay. So in the monthly layout, I just pretty much do a standard, there's a standard basic color, that's what I do the days with, and then I pick another color. These would be for my mandatory bills. These are typically on the same due date, so like rent, for example, rent's always due on the 1st, rent is always $5.50, it doesn't change. Bad things happen if you don't pay these types of bills. So again, like we're gonna go, let's see here, here's Mohela. Don't know how you pronounce it, but I call it Mohela because it's my student loans. So yeah, it's due on the 3rd. It is $21, but bad things will happen if I don't pay that $21 on the 3rd. I will get late fees, late charges. They could like double and increase the amount that I pay. So all of these are in one color of their own. And this month I picked this wonderful, beautiful vintage gold. The other ones that we see here, I just went ahead and stuck with the periwinkle. But these are my optionals. So these include like my daily $5 a day goal. So $5, 30 days. That's $150. So I just split it into 2 payments of $75. And then of course my additional payments towards my debts, which I just call focus. Again, this month we're focusing on the Chase account. So every Sunday there's an additional $50 put on that account. But nothing bad happens. I'm not going to get a late fee. I'm not going to get calls. I'm not going to get sent to collections. Mainly they're healthy for my budget. So it's always good to put back monies for your savings. That's a good thing. Savings save your butt. And of course, when we're paying down debt like we are, you want to try to put as much as possible on it. So I just do weekly little chunks there. And okay, so the other thing, which we did not go over, yeah, we can see April. April has not been a good month. um, my goal is to train myself not to use credit cards. We are paying down credit cards. Do not use the credit cards. Um, if you recall last week's, we had to pay the taxes. I knew the taxes were coming up. We saw that. We saw that on that page that showed like the whole, year dashboard. I did not put back enough. I miscalculated, and yeah. It kind of happened again the year before. And now I get to see 2 years in a row that anytime that we go to, pay the taxes, this happens. So, of course, now I have to play catch up to try to stabilize it. I feel like I'm getting better at that, by the way. That's my stabilizing skills are getting a lot better. I don't panic as much when it happens. I used to panic and then like draw all the savings accounts out, and then of course like one of those stupid subscriptions would come through, and then you get a late charge, or not a no, what is it? An overdraft charge. It's been so long since I got one. But yeah, so I used to panic and do that, where now I hold it out, make a strategic plan, and we fix it. So that's what we're going to be seeing here in the daily pages. And yeah, so this is where I would have left Jins. Again, I was stating that I'm angry, I'm frustrated. It feels like this always happens, but of course it's going to happen because I keep doing the same things. Nothing's going to change unless I change the behaviors. So at least I know what I'm supposed to do. It's, again, trying to incorporate those healthy financial habits into my daily habits. Again, I'm getting better, but being an emotional spender, and then like I said, like I knew the taxes were coming up. It was what day was that? That was the day of the eclipse. I will never forget. So yeah, I was figuring like 500 or less. It was 574. I did use the rest of my savings from 2003. My measly $48 from my emergency savings, which was supposed to help me. These were supposed to help me like boost up on getting the car, So I think a lot of that it just drained me financially and mentally. So, and the other thing that got me for this week too was this. The $100 for the PSECU normally comes out of this check. It does not come out of that check, but it takes 5 days for the money to transfer from one account to the other. So seeing that it's due on this day, I can't use this check because the funds wouldn't have been there. So it had to have come out of this check. So I'm like literally let's say $600 plus another 100, so that's a negative $700. And yeah, it's ouch. Super ouch. So that started with of course I'm gonna use my cards for like if I go out for lunch, if I get gas, anything like that, because I do like to try to get the gas points. Normally I pay on it. So like let's say, okay, I went to Burger King, I charged $1.69. Normally what I would do is whenever I get home from work, I instantly go back onto that card and I pay the $1.69. So I do use the card, but it's paid that night. To me, that is not using the card because you're not carrying that balance over. It's not accumulating interest. What happened though is with me doing the taxes, it caused an emotional downfall. It started raising the anxiety of you could have used those funds. So then you get the ouchie from that because it's like, I enjoyed having those savings. I enjoyed knowing I had that safety net. Was I glad that I had it to cover the taxes? Yes. but now I can't use it for those other things that I was thinking of. So then for me, for someone like me who's an emotional spender, that makes me want to go out and buy. Now, 2 to 3 years ago, I would have been charging like $200 to $300 worth of items. I would have been going and buying like full closets. I would have been buying a ton of candles from Bath and Body Works. I would have been doing large purchases. Hence why I have the credit card debt that I have. I've, become aware of that by keeping these. And so that's like, I did do what I call a depression purchase. It's an impulse buy. Don't get me wrong, Meow Washi's wonderful. Their stuff is so cute, guys. I'm very satisfied with it, but I'm at least keeping it under $50 now. Should I have made that purchase? No. But again, I'm only comparing myself to what I used to be, and this Meow Washi purchase is nothing compared to what I would have done. Like even, I'm gonna say 3 years ago. 3 years ago, this is nothing. But I still don't like the fact that I do this. This is me stating, better safe than sorry, because, like, do I have the funds in here to cover this? I could have paid it. I could have paid those charges that day. Yes. But again, I know what happens when those subscriptions come up and they just get you. So this is an example here. So this is how the Canva subscription just came on. It was like, hey, remember me? And I'm like, oh, man. So I do like to make sure that I have funds in the account so that I don't get an overdraft. Here it goes again. So that was a quick recap of last week. So this is me just saying, like, I'm frustrated. I don't like the way that was going. But I mean, hey, you just figure out what you did and you just move on from it. Normally I do a mid-month review on the 15th. It just didn't happen. I'm trying to think of what happened on this day. I know I was just cranky because of everything that was going on, but I feel like this was a hectic day as well, so I did not get to come back on here. We can see that I still need to fill out my little sticky note as well, but I'm off work tomorrow, so I'm going to go ahead and handle that all tomorrow. The Etsy shop funds did finally arrive. I mean, granted, again, I'm happy that I have these funds to help boost my account for, when I'm in need like this. But again, it's too little too late at this time. This is another thing that I do whenever I know that I'm making a lot of charges, is I will take these little mini sheets and I will start writing down all of the charges that I've done. And we can see, like, by the time that these funds arrived, I've already tacked on like $383 worth of charges. This is $200. It isn't gonna do anything. It's too little too late. If I would have had this $200 on that day, it might have kept the anxiety down and made it to where I didn't do impulse buying. So, I mean, at least it's in the account. Like I said, at least it's like buffering this to get me to the next payday. But again, I'm still not paying on any of these charges right now. I'm just waiting until payday to do that. I'm just going to do it all at once because in a weird way, I like seeing the total amount that I spent for the week, because that kind of gives me a little bit of an insight as to if I need to cut back on that category. So with having the funds back in there, basically with having my account more than $100, it kind of helped the anxiety. It reduced it. Kind of got back to, okay, everything's normal, we're floating again. Maybe still need the baby floaties, but we're heads above water at this point. And it just made me think about it. I was like, like this past week, it's just been extremely high anxiety. Anytime that I would think about the finances, it was like, ugh, like, ugh, cringe. And, to me, like, which, I mean, I have to laugh about it. But what we're seeing here, this was my normal. Um, I lived like this for like 10 years straight. If like I had no problem swiping that plastic saying, "Oh yeah, let's buy this and let's buy that and let's go here and let's travel there." I had no problem swiping the cards without factoring in what it was costing me. Um, that was my daily normal. I've literally just done like 2 weeks here. At this point in time, it's a week and a half, but just 2 weeks of that, and I'm like, oh Lord, no. I am not comfortable with that lifestyle right now. I can't do it. So yeah, so that's a good thing. That's showing that I'm growing. Thursday, I seriously almost forgot again, is with like all of the high stress and that's been going on. Yeah, Joe's like last day before surgery is this Friday. uh do I have the funds to do it, guys? No. But the thing that I do know is the funds that I took for the taxes. Where are you at again? Yeah, I definitely would have been able to take the $50 out of that, and I would have used that to, purchase him something to say like, "Hey, buddy, have a great time. Hope surgery goes well." So I did. I went ahead. It, as we can see, it got the dots, so it is a charge. Again, anytime, like, of course, this is the budget ledger, so this is money coming out of the bank, that's money going into the bank. Anytime that we see a dot, it means it was charged, and if a check mark is beside it, it means it was covered. Again, like, if I end up using the card, let's say that I used a credit card for Starbucks. This one comes right out of PNC, but if I would have put this on my Chase card, if I would have came home later on that night and paid it that day, it does become an instant negative because it is paid that day. But if I pay it on a day after, that's where we get the check mark, because I have to remind myself that we did pay it. We want all the dots to have check marks. Technically, we don't want any dots, but some dots are going to appear. Now, with it being Joe's last day, of course, we had an early work shift. There was no quiet time before work. There's no quiet time after work. Oh my God, excuse me, guys. I hope you couldn't hear that. I'm not made for this. So I'm a freaking pig. So yeah, no quiet time before work, no quiet time after work. I literally had Ray with me the whole day. Yeah. So no focusing on the budget. But the good news is it was pretty much a low spend day. We could see that, we got a large order from McDonald's, but we did get those funds into the savings account. Wow. What a video. So we get to Saturday, right? And this is where I get to actually start cleaning this up, okay? So this is where we got to start facing the music, and we get to see, like, what did we do? How long is this going to take to correct? So I did start with the creditors, because again, we don't want late charges. We don't want to accidentally miss anyone. So I made sure that those were all paid for the remainder of the month. Then I went back through, and the 2 bills that I did put on the cards, those were covered. Again, I do write the dates for what they go to. Then that way it's easier for me to flip through. And of course, I started working on some of the charges here. So I did have to do the dining out. So that's, about 47, 48. Might as well just say $50 for dining out. Um, the morals, I had 60 plus 20. I always, no, 50 plus 20. Holy God, Sally. So that's 70. Um, that's actually a little bit higher than what I would want it to be. I want that closer to 50. So that's why I was waiting to cover them all at the end together, because like I said, it does kind of help me see if I'm spending more in one category than what I should be. And never highlighted this one here. It's a mess. Everything's a mess. Okay, so making it finally to today here. Today I focused on making sure that all the utilities are covered. We did get all the creditors for this pay period done, so now it's time to catch up with all of the utilities. Granted, I still got Netflix, Hulu, and Birch Insurance, but these are all automatic payments, so I can't really pay them ahead. They're automatic. That's why they're not taken care of yet. But we just made sure those are all done. Raised funds transfers, they're transferred over. And I went ahead and just caught up with more of the charges. I tried doing the Marl twice. I completely forgot that it was on this day. But again, this is why I write everything down. Lord. And, yeah, the groceries. 121 in groceries. That's like way. That's like double. That's double than what I was expecting. So I did skip grocery shopping today. we don't need it. We definitely don't need that. But that gets us through the final week of April, guys. So for the most part, I got most of them covered. I'm just gonna slowly keep chipping away at these day by day. Again, this way I can check the balance up here. It's gonna allow me to make sure that I have the funds for these, and seeing that the next payday isn't until the 3rd, that means that I have to make sure that I have funds for all of these. Because we don't want to, we don't want to repeat this. So again, that's why I like this monthly layout, because it lets me see a couple weeks into the future, so that we don't overspend, even if it is in a good way of where I'm saying, okay, I got all these, I need to cover them. The money would be going towards debts, but again, I don't want to accumulate more debt to pay off previous debt. So yeah, that's where we're leaving it. I'm sorry this one was so chaotic. It just pretty much, it sums up how this month has been going. But it'll smooth out. It always does. And as of right now, I get to carry these around until everything is up to speed. But we will get there. We will get there. Like I said, things have been worse. So this is nothing. So I'm going to close out, guys, and just say thank you so much for watching. I greatly appreciate it. And please remember to hit that like and subscribe button to see more budget reviews.